Welcome back. In this video, we are going to do about roll the dice. So we'll start with the most important functionality, which is rolling the dice. Let's now look at this flow chart as here. So basically, what this flowchart implies is, so it basically divides our problem into sub problems. So it breaks the code into smaller divisions. How does it implement? So basically, our this project runs is user rolls dice, then generates random dice, and then it displays dice roll. So if it is equals to 1, then yes, it switches the player. If it is not equals to 1, then it adds the dice roll and then adds the value to the current score and then display new score. So basically what a user holds score, add the current score to the total score. If the score is greater than or equal to 100, then yes, the current player wins. If no, it is switch player. So what user resets the game is set all the scores to 0 and set player 1 as the starting player. Okay, so this is how our flowchart works. I forgot to mention earlier in this project 3 video. So essentially the square boxes you are seeing in this flowchart, right? So all these squares that we have here on this flowchart are like the sub problems that go ahead and implement. So again, for a bigger application like this one, okay, so it is a very good idea to draw a flow chart like this along the process of solving problems that I taught you in the previous session. So use all of these methods that I showed you together whenever you need to solve a problem, because in the end building a project like this is also solving a problem. So you know how the project is supposed to work, and then the problem is essentially to implement it yourself. So you need to dive that big problem that you can seem very scary, but into smaller problems, then it will be easy to implement. And as we move on through this project, you will see it is not scary after all. And with that being said, let's now see this part of flowchart in action in the real application. Okay, so let's do that. Let's actually close this as well. So by seeing the flowchart, seeing in action, it is bit easier for us understanding. So we need to react to that clicking the roll button. Okay, this here. So we need to select the button element and then add an element and then add an event listener or event handler. So here we have our 3 buttons, right? Our new game, roll dice and hold. So in our HTML as well, if you see here, we are having 3 buttons, as you can see here. So all these button classes have the same button. So it was defined with button new, button roll, button hold. Okay, let's now actually create this here. For that, 3 buttons. So we'll declare constant button new equals to document dot query selector. So we'll use this button selector class button new. So we'll simply copy this line and paste it multiple times. So instead of button new here, we'll say hold, and here we'll say roll. So this is going to be button roll. So this is going to be button hold. So once we'll recheck this with our HTML file, button roll, button hold, button new. Yeah, this is correct. We'll do is to roll the dice functionality. So for that, we'll add the button roll dot add event listener. For that, here we have to say click, right? When we click only it needs to function. So function of. So let's write some comments here. So here we are going to write selecting elements. Okay. Here we are going to write starting conditions. Okay. And then here I am going to write rolling dice functionality. Okay. So here we are dividing into 3 scenarios again. So generating a, so here we are generating a random dice roll, and also we'll display the dice, and in the third one here we'll check for rolled 1. If true, switch to next player. Okay, these are the 3 scenarios we are going to write. So in this button roll actually. So here we'll say constant dice here equals to math dot trunk, and then in here inside math dot random into 6 plus 1. So the dice here for the number itself, and this variable needs not to be a global here, the dice. Okay. And because each time that we roll the dice we want to generate a new number, and so let's simply define that variable here, and now we create this random dice roll just as before. Okay, as you can see here we have already declared this type of function in the previous videos and in the previous projects as well. So what this done do is when we roll the dice, it gives the value into decimal. So it removes the decimal value. So the dice value, it gives between 0 to 6. So that's what we declared here. So now the dice is hidden, right? Actually in the previous video we did was to hide the dice. So let's just remove the hidden for so that the dice will be visible. So for that we'll write dice element here. We'll select from the above here the dice element. We'll select that dot class list dot remove hidden. So let me save it. So let's say now we want to display one of the image here according to the dice number. It is not that hard. So let me just show you how it is done. So let me just show you in the HTML file here. See here, like this image source, it is getting the dice like. So similarly we can also do that in the JavaScript file as well. So here we'll write dice element dot source similarly like in the HTML. So this acts as the same way. Here we are using the back tags. Okay, and here we'll say dice. So dice, here we'll use again the dice dot png. So with this we can dynamically load 1 to 6 images here depending upon the random value of dice. So let me just show you here why we have written dice and slash, because here the image here everything contains the same text except the last element 1 to 6. So here the 1 to 6 will be displayed automatically randomly through this dice, right? So we just link that. So let me just go ahead and save it. So let me just show you the demonstration here. So when I click the roll dice, it is showing the random value. See, it is coming the random value, right? So whenever the value is coming behind, so it is showing the random image of the dice as well. So here it works. So now we have to do is keep adding to roll dice to current score, and that's what we'll do in the case here. So here the check 3. Okay, here we'll do that. So let's say that we'll declare here the above the selecting elements. We'll say let current score equals to 0. So this needs to be declared here in this starting conditions. And let's add the dice to the current score. So basically what we will do is when we roll the dice we are getting the output, right? So let me just here go ahead and console. So when we inspect this page, we go to console. So when we roll this, see here the value is getting 4 and here the image is also getting 4. So this works, as you can see. So this works. So in order to show you, I just console this dice here. Okay, now let's go to this statement 3. Here we'll check if this condition, if dice is rolled 1, then it should pass on to next player, right? So here we'll set the condition, if the dice is not equals to 1, then it should add two cases here. Add the dice to current score. So this is going to be the if, and here the else is going to be here switch to next player. Okay, this is going to be the situation here. So let me just go ahead and add here the current score. So current score is going to be the current score plus dice. So in order to write this way, we can write in the another way as well. So it's going to be the current score plus or equals to dice. So this is also the same way, same meaning which we have written before. So we'll write in this way. Now at this point we'll just display it on player 1 only to make it a little bit simpler, but in the future we'll need to keep track of which player is the active player. So what we are going to do in the next video, but for now let's display the score on only player 1. Okay, so let's select the score or the current score for player 1. So here we'll declare here one more selecting starting element. So we'll declare the constant. Here we'll declare current score 0 of element, because see current player, this one here we're declaring here document dot get element id by current 00. I hope this is correct. Let me just go ahead and check it in the HTML page here. So in our first case, see our ID current score. So this is the ID we are just calling out for this. So current 00. So we have written correct only. Okay. So similarly, we'll just call it out for. Similarly, we'll just write this for the second element as well. So here it is 1. And then here it is 1. Okay. Let me just save it. Okay. Now here we are going to write our line of code. Here we are declare the current element 01 element. Okay. Dot text content equals to current score we are declaring. So this statement here needs to be changed later, because we are for now because in this video we are going to declare the only player 1 score, right? So only for player 1 we are writing, not for player 2. So later this needs to be changed. Okay, so we did something wrong here. Yeah, here we have did a small fault. So here the needs to be here. See, here the score is getting executed as we click on the dice. So this is how this function is going to work. Okay, now that we rolled 1, nothing happened. So in this situation we want to move to the next player. So basically switching the player, and that's going to be the else branch here. So let's see that in the next video, because it involves doing the list of stuff. So think of what we can do. Try to think of implementing a function. So try it out on your own. So that's it for this video.